Hey guys, so One Piece chapter 1014, or is that what they call it? The chapter where everything goes completely to shit. Yeah. Okay, so right out of the gate, we actually have to talk about the first 3 pages of the chapter, because the first page, Kaido comments on how Luffy couldn't be Joy Boy. Well, on the next page, cutting to Momonosuke saying, it's important that he must not die. So yeah, I got it completely wrong, but it's something I didn't even think of either because Oda cleverly disguised it behind, but just behind the French whole mantra of the Kozuki's solemn duty as the ones who need to open Wano's borders. But it's only now that it clicks in me that I think we can assume Momonosuke is Joy Boy. Like from the very moment Oda introduced the character, he's been setting him up as he's been setting him up more and more that he was setting him up as Joy Boy just from that very moment he was introduced, and the more along the lines that we went with the story, the more he was the more Oda in his typical fashion was just sprinkling these little clues here and there that yeah, Joy Boy is Momonosuke, and the thing is, it's one of those things where even if that isn't the case, then it still sounds like it pretty much might be a role that Momonosuke shares with another, whether it's whether it's his sister Hiyori or even from from Kaido's even from Yamato. Like I think they do. Like I think the Kazoki, when you get down to it, do in a very literal sense carry the legacy of Joy Boy on their backs because one of them is Joy Boy. But the problem is with the way this chapter played out, it kind of begs the question of whether or not that Momonosuke has learned this too little, too late. That's kind of the big thing I'm kind of asking right now, cause yeah, the best because yeah, the best way to really describe the events in this chapter again is that after Luffy immediately like gets defeated, everything goes to hell in a handbasket, almost to the point, frankly, where I feel there's not enough time in the chapter to properly emotionally digest everything that's happening, even the deaths, for as emotional as they are in some ways and should be. I don't feel as like emotionally invested in their final moments as I feel I should be. Like the first being Kikunojo, which that her death is definitely his Kikunojo's death is definitely the hardest hitting death. Frankly, it hit me, and as I honestly, it did kind of choke up a little bit when in her final moments. But then consecutively after that, we get the deaths of Kanjuro and assumingly Kinemon as well, which I will give the death of Kanjuro this. For as much of a conniving rat as he revealed himself to be, it is kind of nice to see that after the last time they fought after the last time he fought the Yakuza 9, he recognized that the only path for his redemption was through his death, and that he did genuinely enjoy in the end he did genuinely enjoy his time as part of the Yakuza, even when he was serving as a even when he was serving as a as a spy. But I do think that the transition is a little bit. I think the transition itself is a little sloppy, but it happens so fast. I feel I can't absorb the emotions properly. But maybe that's also. But at the same time, in the way that this chapter is written and structured, I almost wonder if that's the intent. The idea that this truly is the end of the end game of Wano, and that one way or another, it kind of all ends here. It doesn't matter at what pace it ends; it just all ends here. Which, yeah, right now, unless Yamato or the Straw Hats can pull a last minute save out of their ass, this is looking like this will in fact all end with Kaido's victory, which Mr. Morge predicted, and in some ways, if Oda really wanted, and looking at how everything is playing out, if Oda really wanted the big final climax of the series to pretty much be like the Throne Wars, then there really is no other perfect way in order to lead into that than to have Kaido claim complete dominion over Wano. In fact, the only scenario I see where Kaido still loses here is that if everyone who's still who's still able to fight just kind of plays off something said in the introduction of Kaido himself, of the character himself, which is that if it's one-on-one, Kaido wins. That's what they say. So if that is in fact the case, then if someone managed to if everyone managed to reorganize and attack Kaido, it might still work. But even more than that, there actually still is one particular card. But even more than that, though, there is still one particular card that hasn't been played yet that I still want to see how that happens, which is that, from my understanding, Drake and Kobe are still waiting in the wings. So I think I want to assume that what's going to happen here is that the Marines are going to play a big role, are going to make a big appearance soon. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Like that feels like one of the big ways in which the tables could be turned here. Is if the Marines like pretty much make a pretty big appearance on Wano, but that's something we'll have to wait and see about. But yeah, overall, if everyone reorganizes, I think this might still potentially work, just depending on how it plays out. With that said, we get a very peculiar flashback that shows Caesar Clown actually had actually helped Chopper like in modifying his rumble balls to where Chopper could stay in Monster Point a lot longer than he was, up to half an hour. And yeah, on one hand, as it's shown, it did prove to be a big help for Chopper in the long run. But on the other side of things, and on a personal note, for me personally, there's such a natural stranger danger quality to someone like Caesar that I wouldn't have trusted that creepy motherfucker as far as I could throw him, even if he had something of value to offer. But I would have just said, fuck that noise, dude. I don't trust you as far. Fuck that news. I don't trust you, motherfucker. I'm not gonna do anything you tell me. You're just a creepy ass. You're just a creepy ass. But hey, that's just me. Like I wouldn't trust. If I was in Chopper's position, I'd say fuck no, motherfucker. Get out of my face. But hey, again, that's just me. The other thing is that when the Marys, Kaido's surveillance unit, announces Luffy's defeat all across Onigashima, we get a pretty much a look at everyone who's still like engaged in fights and all that throughout pretty much throughout Onigashima. And one thing we do get confirmation on is that Robin herself is still okay and pretty much still fighting Black Maria, I think. But yeah, but at the same time, with learning that Luffy's been defeated, and that everything in itself is starting to really kind of just everything is starting to just slowly fall apart from here. I wonder if Robin is going to be forced to make the ultimate sacrifice very soon, because again, unless the Straw Hats and Yamato have some kind of magic trick they haven't used yet, or if everyone just kind of just pretty much gathers together and mollywops Kaido, like I think Robin is going to be forced to make the ultimate decision of possibly just kind of surrendering herself to Kaido, possibly. But again, from here, just things have gone so crazy, it's kind of hard to predict as to what's going to happen now. But yeah, overall, I really like this chapter. But if I'm being overall, I definitely like this chapter. But if I'm being honest, this is one of those chapters I kind of need to see animated, because I feel just the additions of voice acting and a soundtrack will kind of help me feel a little more emotional attachment, like when it comes to the deaths happening in the chapter itself. And yeah, and honestly, I think this is one of those chapters that might even that dare I say might even benefit from a slower pacing of the anime. Frankly, I know that's kind of like bollocks to say, but that's kind of bollocks and taboo to say for a lot of people. But the anime has been kind of doing some good things that I kind of prefer over the manga lately. So I think this is kind of one of those chapters that just might benefit from that as well. And in general, I think, and again, I did feel emotional enough in this chapter, but there are certain aspects to it where I feel I could have been more emotionally connected. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Twitter, Analyst, Crunchyroll, and be sure to hit the notification bell, guys. Subscribe and just share the fuck out of the video. Dead Night of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.